Welcome to One-on-One, the Daily Items weekly digital program featuring Susquehanna Valley newsmakers interviewed by Daily Item reporters. Today's guest is new Shikellamy School District Superintendent Dr. Jason Bendle, interviewed by Francis Scarcella.
The Sunbury Motor Company.
Austin Martin, Kia Elite Sales Consultant, Maranatha Christian School.
Amber Wren, Certified Hyundai and Lincoln Sales Consultant, Selinsgrove Area High School.
Ian Chikuski, Certified Ford Sales Professional, Mount Carmel and Shamokin area.
Christopher Stengline, Ford Certified Sales Consultant, Selinsgrove Area High School.
Tom Mertz, fourth generation owner, Sunbury Motor Company, Chicolini High School.
A tradition of trust since 1915.
Welcome to One-on-One. I'm Francis Scarcella, being joined today by Shikellamy new Superintendent Jason Bendle. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks
Appreciate
for having me.
Appreciate you being here. So let's start right away with the elephant in the room. You were in Danville 14 months?
Yep, that's correct.
Left Danville. Everybody wants to know why. I know we did a bunch of stories on it here. Now you're in Shikellamy. We got to ask you, if you can talk about it, let's talk about it. What happened in Danville?
So, Danville, it just wasn't a good fit. I mean, I said it before, the board and I were not a good match. I think you have to be a good match. My previous district, St. Clair area, was a great match for the board and myself. We did great things together, and I think that is what's going to happen here at Shikellamy, and I'm really excited to get started here at Shikellamy.
So with that being said, you have been in the Sunbury area. I'm sure you've visited the schools and gone through the whole process. When you saw that this was up, was this something that you automatically looked at? Did you look at this prior to knowing Shikellamy was going through this transitional phase while you were in Danville?
So yes, I applied for this job prior to my departure from Danville. But both my parents are proud Shikellamy graduates. I spent a lot of time here as a kid. Both my grandparents lived here, and it was an opportunity for me to give back to this community. So.
Well, with that being said, Shikellamy has a history. I'm sure you've been doing your research on it. So it's been about 4 superintendents in about 9 years. Yeah. So now it's your turn.
Yep.
What do you see? What do you see that was done wrong, and what do you see that it's going to happen that's going to do right now?
Well, I'll start off with I said to the board of directors, I said I'd give them a minimum of 10 years. This is not a short-term move for me. I hope it's a long-term move for me. I really think that superintendents do the best work into their second term to really make systemic changes. And I have really going to hit the ground running. I hold academic achievement and student growth to the highest regard. Learning is not supposed to be easy, but it can't be frustrating, but it's supposed to be challenging. So you have to provide a rigorous curriculum. Student safety has to be our top priority, and we have to do everything in our power to make sure that our students are safe. That goes with making sure that we're practicing safety drills in different scenarios. That goes with making sure that staff's trained with best practices, and that the board of directors is informed on technology and equipment that will make our schools safer.
Let me bring that up while you're doing that, because I know for a fact, because I've covered this, and I don't think that the Shikellamy School District and the Sunbury Police Department anyway, or any of the departments in there, really have a huge safety plan, I should say. So is that something that you're going to absolutely meet with all of the police stations around here right out of the gates?
I've done that in every district that I've been in. I think I believe in transparency. I believe in open lines of communication. Within the first month, I hope to sit down with the police chiefs, the fire chiefs, local and state legislators, and I think working as a team will be how we improve safety with our schools.
How about with the media?
Well, I think the media, is I also believe in transparency. I don't dodge the media. So when you have a question, I answer it to the best of my ability and what I can legally. But I'll also call on you to say, hey, there's something really positive happening at our middle school or at our elementary schools. So, and I think that one of the things that I bring to the table is I want to really sell the Shikellamy story. I walked around this district. I went into every single one of the buildings, and I saw fabulous things happening. I saw fabulous lessons from faculty. So I'm excited to hit the ground running.
Are you going to be a visible superintendent in this district?
So everywhere I've been, St. Clair as superintendent, Danville as superintendent, I have had people from the community come up to me and say, "You've been the most visible superintendent we've ever had." I am a father of two, so I do have to be a father as well.
Yeah.
But I will be at sporting events, extracurricular events. I like to be heavily involved with the business community because I think that we have to work together to work on workforce development and things like that, because we have to provide our kids with resources so they can be successful beyond high school.
Sure. I know that the interim, I'm sure you spoke with Dr. Tom Shovlin. Had some big shoes to fill there because he's been very visible and he's been out. So you're looking forward to sitting down with him again and seeing what he's had here in the last 6-7 months or whatever it was?
Absolutely. I will look forward to sitting down with Dr. Shovlin and working on a smooth transition of leadership. So.
Shikellamy seems to have this all the time, is they do this kind of later in the year. So you're going to have the whole summer. So is that going to be where you're really going to do your everything kind of sort of to get ready for the new school year coming up?
It's a great time to start because you have the summer to prepare. I started talking about the things that I bring to the table. I talked about two. I want to hit two others. But absolutely, the summer's the time to sit down with administration, any teachers that want to sit down as well, and really start working on how can we make improvements. I wanted to go back to your original question because I think it's important to say to the taxpayers of Shikellamy that I hold taxpayer dollars to the highest regard, and I believe that I'm a steward of taxpayer dollars, so I'll bring transparency to the budgeting process, not that it's not already, and finally just to develop relationships within the community. That I mentioned business leaders, local legislators, parents, because I think that old saying of it takes a village to raise a child, I think that's sometimes lost in our society today, and I think we have to figure out ways that we can partner to help one another.
Sure. In my entire time here, I have never seen a superintendent at a city council meeting. Is that something you would go to?
Absolutely.
To sit down and meet with city council and the mayor and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect. Well, we have a lot more questions for you. Now it's going to get a little tougher for you because there's a lot of stuff going on here in Shikellamy. So we'll be right back with Shikellamy new superintendent, Jason Bendle.
The Sunbury Motor Company.
Austin Martin, Kia Elite Sales Consultant, Maranatha Christian School.
Amber Wren, Certified Hyundai and Lincoln Sales Consultant, Shikellamy High School.
Ian Chicolini, Certified Ford Sales Professional, Mount Carmel and Shamokin area.
Christopher Stengline, Ford Certified Sales Consultant, Selinsgrove Area High School.
Tom Mertz, fourth generation owner, Sunbury Motor Company, Chicolini High School.
A tradition of trust since 1915.
We're back with Superintendent Jason Bendle. So you talked about transparency. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you a question on this. So obviously you've been following, we talked a little bit off the record about the daily items pursuit of the PIAA and some of the practices that went on inside District 4, which we're a part of. It turns out that through right to know requests that we have discovered that as far as we know anyway, and as far as what the response we got, there has been no receipts made, and I know our athletic director's involved. There's a lot of people not involved in this, but they're involved in District 4. So you followed it. What are your? They did a lot of work on school time. That was admitted by, it says in the Shamokin Area School District, and they admitted to conducting work on PIAA work on school time. So with that being said, will you come with a policy in place on that? I mean, shouldn't you be in the classroom or in the doing your job rather than doing PIAA work on school time?
Yeah, I can't speak on any other school district or any other administrator, so I won't comment on that. However, absolutely, I'll hold the Shikellamy staff, faculty and staff accountable for time that they work on Shikellamy dollar versus PIAA time.
Right. And with that being said, so we also discovered that you can now, and I'm sure you know this as a superintendent, we can now text messages, cell phones, emails, they're all public information.
Yep.
Is that something you'll address to the Shikellamy? Because that has really not happened here yet.
So here's what I've said to administrators my whole career. Don't put anything in a text message, don't put anything in an email that you don't want on the front page of the paper. I live by that. I'll expect the staff to live by that as well. Plus, I think email and text messages. We are in the public eye as superintendents, as principals. We're held to a high standard, and we need to conduct ourselves in that manner. And I'll expect nothing less.
So you're a disciplinarian then. If things happen, you're right there. You're not
Well,
a buddy. You're not a friend. You're in the position now to be the superintendent. Is that?
Well, I think that's the job of a superintendent. So I think that the thing is people will always make mistakes. It's how you handle the mistakes. It's how you do you learn from the mistakes. Do people make mistakes moving forward? But absolutely, I mean, we're held to a high standard. We have very political jobs that we have to answer to the public. So
and paid for by taxpayer dollars.
Correct.
So
absolutely.
With that being said, seems to be a pattern sometimes, but you're coming into something here that potentially is a situation where we had a couple administrators suspended. We're not 100% sure what the outcome is or what any of that is at this time, but I'm sure you read about it. I know you're not technically but you've inherited it. Put it that way, you've inherited it. So tell us what.
Well, I mean, first of all, I wasn't involved in any of the investigation that goes with that. I've actually gotten the information that I know from articles that you've written. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, I think there's processes in place in any school district. You investigate. There's a process for due process and discipline if needed.
So with that being said, with you in these kind of situations, it's a fresh start for everybody. Once you're now officially here, it's a fresh start all around the boards for everybody. So anything that happened prior to, you're not really concerning yourself with as much, or is it like let's go forward right now? And
I don't know if I can answer that question. I think the topic that you're talking about potentially is ongoing, so I don't think I can answer that question until I hit the ground.
Right. Okay. That's fair. So then tell us what would be the three biggest challenges you see here in Shikellamy, whether it be security, whether it be behavior, whatever that may be. What do you see?
Well, I think number one. I think if you look at our test scores, I think all of us would say we'd like to do better. Test scores, everywhere I've been as superintendent, I've improved test scores. That's not something that happens overnight. I think that's something that is a systemic challenge that you need to deal with instruction and curriculum, but we'll move forward as a district. And I don't care where we sit right now. What I'm going to look at is, are we trending the right direction? So that's probably number one. Yeah, you hit student safety. That's absolutely a top priority. And I think across the state, school districts are challenged with finance. Healthcare goes up every single year. Salaries go up every single year, and they should. But sometimes the revenue is not keeping up. So you can't run a business when your revenue is here and your expenses are here. So I think that every district across the state of Pennsylvania is dealing with financial challenges. But I have a lot of experience with that. I took St. Clair over when they were nearly bankrupt, and I was in the district for about 9 years, 4.5 as superintendent. And when I got there, they had a fund balance of negative $750,000. And when I left, they had a positive $4 million. So I've dealt with tough budgets in the past. I believe that you have to know where every penny in the district is, and you got to be fiscally responsible. And sometimes you got to think outside the box and make sure that you're looking at every single line item. So.
How about as far as an open door policy for the public, for teachers, for everybody? How's that going to work for you?
One thing that I do when I get here, which will be very soon, is I'm open to sitting down with people that want to sit down and meet and talk about education. I'm looking to partner with the community, so I'm open to doing that. Now, we'll have to set up a time to sit down and talk and meet, so we'll set up a meeting time with anybody that wants to, but I'm open.
So basically you're saying you want to open up something to the community where come meet and greet the superintendent of Shikellamy. Oh, that's good. Yeah. Well, with that being said, we appreciate you coming here.
Sure.
It's a lot of challenges coming your way, but you look like you're interested in it, and you look like you're really committed to the area at this point, and we wish you the best of luck.
No, thank you, and thanks for having me, and I look forward to it, and I'm looking forward to hitting next year with Shikellamy moving forward in growth.
Thank you. Yep. Shikellamy Superintendent Jason Bendle.
Thanks for watching One on One. Be sure to tune in next week for another edition.